Mag-screen sharing ako ulit ng ating topic. So, ito yung So, nag-end tayo kanina sa enzyme. So, ang first type ng enzyme na diniscuss kanina is the muscle enzyme. Yung classmate nyo is nagtanong about post-mortem. So, pasensya na class ha. Kasi kailangan i-renew yung Microsoft para mag-function siya. Matagal masyadong mag-open. So, dito na tayo. Glycolysis continue under anaerobic condition resulting to lactic acid formation. So, lactate increases pH which reduces the water building capacity of protein. So, ito na yung nangyayari if namamatay na yung isda, pumapasok na yung glycolysis. So, if glycolysis happens, ang nangyayari is nagkakaroon tayo ng lactic acid formation. So, pag nagkakaroon ng lactic acid formation, nagproproduce siya ng lactate. So, pag may lactate na, ang ginagawa ng lactate kasi is pinapataas niya yung pH at kung mataas yung pH, mas lumiliit yung presence ng water sa body ng isda. So, another is, ang nangyari is meron tayong tinatawag na hydrolytic. So, ano nangyari sa hydrolytic? Lysosomal enzyme degrades protein in muscles. So, ito yung process na nangyayari or activities that happens in muscle enzymes. So, ang second type naman ng enzyme is the digestive enzyme and their activity.
Putol-putol man yung boses mo, ma'am.
Hindi masyadong stable ang signal ko. How about the rest? Naririnig niyo lang ba ang voice ko? Hindi ba putol-putol?
Yes, ma'am.
Stable lang yung ano ninyo.
lang, ma'am.
So,
Oo.
pag putol-putol sa inyo, tapos stable sa iba, ang connection ninyo ang hindi masyadong stable. So, ganun yun. Next is digestive enzyme. These are enzymes from the digestive tract of the fish. So, dito makikita yung digestive enzyme. Ang ginagawa niya is it play a significant part in the autolysis. Yung sinasabi ko kanina na from the word auto means self and lysis means self-breakdown. So, self-breakdown of whole and gutted fish. So, during these periods, nagkakaroon or during periods of heavy feeding, the abdomen of some species such as herring and mackerel is vulnerable to tissue degradation and may rupture within a few hours of capture. So the third factor for spoilage is what we call the chemical spoilage. This occurs during storage or in frozen condition. So it doesn't mean na pag nilagay mo yung isda sa freezer, hindi na siya mabubulok. No, meron siyang certain period of time na masisira pa rin yung isda. Alam naman, ilalagay mo siya ng 3 taon, okay pa rin ba yung isda mo after 3 years? Siyempre, meron tayong tinatawag na chemical spoilage. So, it involves chemical changes or rancidity of lipids may involve. So, ang process na undergo dito is dalawa. We have the lipid autolysis and the auto-oxidation. So, what is lipid autolysis? It is enzymatic hydrolysis with free fatty acids having glycerol as the main product. So from the word lipid means fat. So fat autolysis. So ang involved dito na lipid is fatty acids with glycerol. Then auto-oxidation. This is a reaction of unsaturated lipid with oxygen. Yes? Ano yon? Sino yon? Okay. I will... May tanong ka? Or later on, after the discussion, I'll entertain your questions. Okay lang? Sige. So, Auto-oxidation is more prevalent in aquatic products. It causes rancid colors, odors, and discoloration. So ito yung effect if the fish undergoes auto-oxidation. And then next, other chemical changes. Aside from the mentioned two process, lipid autolysis and auto-oxidation, the fish also undergoes denaturation of protein. So ano yung denaturation of protein? This occurs during frozen storage, resulting to tough, dry, and fibrous texture. Kaya kung hahawakan niyo yung isda na galing sa freezer, ito yung kanyang texture, tough, dry, and fibrous texture. It involves the disruption and possible destruction of both the secondary and tertiary structures. So this is the example that we have here, the alpha helix. The normal structure is ganito siya. Helix nga, di ba? Alpha helix. So pag nag-undergo siya ng denaturation of protein, ang mangyayari is, ang kanyang shape is magiging random. So from this, nagiging ganito yung kanyang itsura. So disrupted na ang kanyang content. So no specific shape if merong denaturation of protein. Next is darkening of red meat. This is bakit mas nagiging darken yung meat ng isda. This is due to change of myoglobin from bright red to red-brown or dark brown. So these are the different things that the fish undergoes during chemical changes. Okay, sino yung naka-unmute? Please mute yourself kasi parang merong feedback. Meron pa rin, class, yung hindi nakamute. Okay na? So next is, next na i-discuss ko sa inyo is yung ating hygiene and sanitation. So is everything clear about this topic? Masyado siyang scientific. Pero kung babasahin yun, iintindihan nyo. Yes? Sino yan?
Yung ano ma'am, yung number 2 sa ano ma'am, yung kanina ma'am, hindi ko masyado Opo, kasi mahina yung signal, wala ma'am. Hindi ko masyado na-come up yung lesson sa number 2 ma'am.
Enzymes. Don't worry,
Opo.
mag-upload ako ng recorded video about sa topic na ito. So pwede mo yun i-review. So to summarize lang, 3 factors that causes the spoilage of fish. First factor is bacteria. We have the gram-positive and the gram-negative. Gram-positive is commonly found in freshwater, and gram-negative are marine, more on marine. And sa enzymes naman, meron tayong 2 different types of enzymes. We have muscle enzymes and digestive enzymes. And both of this undergoes different processes. Like sa muscle enzyme, commonly may glycolysis tayo na nangyayari and hydrolytic, yung lysosome enzyme. For digestive naman, it undergoes 4 processes. Digestive, hindi siya masyadong na-expound yung process dito. But other chemical spoilage na meron, yung third factor for spoilage, which is chemical, 4 na processes that it undergoes. We have lipid autolysis, auto-oxidation, denaturation of protein, and darkening of red meat. So that is the whole summary of the different factors of fish spoilage. So is it clear or not yet clear?
Sige, thank you ma'am.
Okay na. So the next topic that I'll be teaching you is about hygiene and sanitation. So what is hygiene, class? Sabi dito, hygiene means the signs of good health. It signifies cleanliness and freedom from the risk of infectious diseases. So hygiene, signs of good health. It talks about cleanliness and freedom from the risk of infectious diseases. So yun yung 3 important phrases that you need to remember when we talk about hygiene. So hygiene in foods and food processing indicates good quality as well as the absence of any food poisoning hazard. Kaya nga importante yung hygiene sa pagkain Kasi usually may namamatay sa food poisoning. May narinig ba kayong about sa milk tea? Dahil nga yung milk tea is contaminated, maraming namatay na mga consumers. So
Yes,
isa
ma'am.
yun
Yes,
sa
ma'am.
mga reasons kaya importante yung food hygiene. So a hygienically prepared foodstuff should be attractive in appearance, odor, and flavor. Kaya malalaman mo na malinis yung product na yan sa physical appearance pa lang, sa baho, sa lasa, you could already determine that that product is safe and should be presented in such a manner that the consumer has every confidence in his purchase. So ano yung major cause of spoilage of fish flesh is contamination with bacteria. So among the three na na-mention ko kanina, yung bacteria, yung enzyme, and chemical spoilage, ang pinaka-common talaga ng cause ng spoilage is the bacteria. Kaya nga importante yung cleanliness. So if the flesh is contaminated with pathogenic, when we say pathogenic bacteria, these are disease-causing bacteria. Nagbibigay ng sakit ng tiyan, no, yung nangyari sa'yo, sumusuka ka, or nagkakaroon ka ng diarrhea. So yun yung mga side effect ng pagkain ng spoiled foods. It can cause illness or itong pinaka-worst sa lahat, death in the consuming public. So contamination can be kept to a minimum and the growth of any bacteria that are present is reduced if fish kept clean and held at low or chilled temperature. So yun yung background about hygiene. How about cleanliness? So cleanliness is needed at every stage of fish handling and preparation. So definition of terms, the word clean and cleaning are two different terms. The word clean means the absence of visible dirt. Wala kang makikitang dumi. That means it is clean. Or walang unwanted matter na present doon. While the word cleaning, this is now pertains to the process of removing of soil, food residues, dirt, grease, or other objectionable matter. So that is cleaning. So cleaning alone, however, will not reduce the number of microbes. So hindi enough yung paglilinis lang. Hence, a further treatment called sanitation or disinfection is required. So hindi enough yung magwalis-walis ka lang dyan. Kailangan lagyan ng sanitizers and disinfectants para mamatay talaga ang bacteria. Kasi hindi lahat ng bacteria namamatay sa paglilinis lang. So what is sanitation? Sanitation is the process of reducing the number of living microorganisms. So ang hindi lang kayang tanggalin ng sanitation is yung spores. Higher level na to ng microbes. Hindi na to bacteria, spores na to. In the plant to a level judged safe by public health authorities. So cleanliness, ang ginagamit para maglinis is detergents. So detergents loosen and help remove dirt such as fish slime. Yun, masyadong mahirap tanggalin yung fish slime and blood. While a sanitizer kills actively growing microbes. So yun yung role ng detergent and ng sanitizer. So this is the characteristic of an ideal detergent. So paano mo malalaman na yung detergent na ginagamit mo is nakakatanggal talaga ng dumi? If it has a good wetting capacity, and then second, it has the ability to remove soil from the surfaces, it has the power to emulsify, capacity to hold material in suspension, it has a good rinsing property, non-corrosive, compatible with other materials, quick and complete solubility, dissolving action on food solids, germicidal action, complete water softening power, non-toxic and economical to use. So these are the ideal characteristics of your detergents. So kung meron siya nito, ibig sabihin maganda yung detergent na ginagamit ninyo. Next is, let's talk about sanitizer or disinfectant. So these are the characteristics of a good sanitizer or disinfectant. It should be effective germicide. Siyempre naman, di ba, ang first major role ng sanitizer is to kill germs. So kung hindi niya kaya pumatay ng germs, huwag ka na lang magamit ng sanitizer. Kung char-char lang pala yung sanitizer mo. So it should be easy to dissolve in water, low level of toxicity, stable in concentrated form, does not significantly corrode metal or plastic, effective at low concentrations and affected by water conditions, safe to health in both concentrated and diluted form, deodorizes, compatible with cleaning compounds of low persistence. So ito yung characteristics ng sanitizer or disinfectant na dapat gamitin. For example, sa mga factories or sa bahay ninyo when you are preparing food. Okay? And then, another thing is sanitation or disinfection can be made by physical treatments. So aside sa detergent, aside sa sanitizer, disinfectant, pwede kayong gumamit ng UV irradiation. Ito yung mga blue lights na nakikita niyo dyan. UV lights, ultraviolet rays or lights pala, na pwedeng gamitin para itanggal yung bacteria by means of chemical compounds. So the chemical disinfectants commonly used in the food industry include, pwede kang gumamit ng chlorine for chemical disinfectants, chlorine compounds, iodophores, quaternary ammonium compounds, ampholytic compounds, peracetic acid, and hydrogen peroxide. So ito yung mga commonly ginagamit na chemical disinfectants sa mga food industry, which is safe also for the food pag ginamit sila as disinfectant. Hindi naman directly sa food, pero doon sa mga places kung saan sila nilalapag, okay, during cleaning time, ito yung ginagamit. So all equipment, tools, floors, and premises must be kept clean by using detergents and sanitizers. Personal hygiene. So, nakikita niyo naman, di ba? Personal hygiene, it's all about yourself, how you take good care of yourself. Itututbrush ka ba? Naghuhugas ka ba ng kamay? Araw-araw ka bang naliligo? So, it's about personal hygiene. So, paano masabi na you practice a good personal hygiene? If you bath daily, meron ba dito sa inyo, dumaan lang ang lockdown, hindi naliligo araw-araw? Yung iba naman, dahil nga sa sobrang takot sa virus, more than 3 times naliligo every day. Pag lumabas lang, ligo agad. Tapos punta sa kapitbahay, pagbalik sa bahay, ligo na naman. So nasobrahan na ang personal hygiene. So next is using appropriate deodorants. Yan, baho ba ang kepet mo? So kailangan mo ng deodorants. Yung tawas, yung mga, alam ninyo, yung mga ginagamit natin. Washing hair at least weekly. Ito, meron ba dito sa class na paminsan-minsan lang nagsha-shampoo or yung nag-half bath lang kayo? So, at least weekly. So, parang ito, hindi ako masyadong, ano ba siya, convinced na at least weekly lang talaga. Once a week lang magbasa ng hair? I don't think so. So, keeping nails clean and trimmed. Wearing clean uniforms and clean underclothing. Di yung pabalik-balik na lang ang damit. Pang 1 week na siguro ang sinusuot mo na damit dahil ayaw mo maglaba. So, using a hairnet or cap and mask over nose and mouth when on duty. Preparing for work in systematic fashion so that the individual and his clothing are clean at the time he starts to work. So, sino dito sa inyo nakapag-work na kayo sa canning factories? Nag-OJT na ba kayo? Yung sa Dagupan, if you are familiar with that, kung mag-OJT kayo, dun kayo assign sa mga isda, sa milkfish factory, ito yung ginagawa talaga nilang procedure. Di ka pwedeng pumasok kung yung kuko mo madumi, so kailangan mag-nail cutter, kailangan kang maligo, tanggalin lahat ng mga accessories na meron ka, maglagay ka ng hair cap, maglagay ka ng face mask, tapos dadaan ka sa parang vacuum para matanggal yung mga dumi na nasa katawan mo and everything. So very strict talaga pag nag-work ka sa mga food industries. Ito yung mga procedures na usually ginagawa natin to maintain cleanliness and kailangan ng personal hygiene. And another thing is about cleanliness. Washing of hands is most important in the prevention of contamination in food. Dari lang, ma'am. So, ito yung ginagawa pag nag-wash ng hand. Kailan ka mag-wash ng hand? If galing ka, umubo ka lang or nag-sneeze, so kailangan ka na mag-wash ng hands. This is good if you are working in a company, lalo na sa pagkain, or nagpa-process kayo ng mga deboned fish, ganun. So, kailangan mo maghugas ng kamay pag nakita ka lang na umubo or sinipon ka ba or galing ka ng CR or nag-smoking ka, nag-handle ka ng mga equipments and other items or naghawak ka ng isda or basura, ng soiled materials and even money. So, kung ginawa mo to doon sa factory, automatically kailangan mong maghugas ng kamay. So, ganun sila ka-strict. So, any questions about hygiene and sanitation? About personal hygiene and sanitation, about cleanliness? Okay? So, wala na. Okay, thank you. So, next topic and last topic that we have is the ways on preparing fish. So, I have here some important terms that we need to know. How do we prepare fish? We have different ways. Pwede ka mag-prepare ng drone fish, dressed fish, ng steaks, pwede din fillets, pwede din sticks and portions. So, yun yung iba't ibang ways ng pag-prepare ng isda. Depende sa'yo kung anong gusto mo at saka paano mo lulutuin, anong klaseng pagkain isa-serve mo. So, drone fish, or we also call this gutted. Bakit gutted, class? As you can see on the screen, tinatanggal yung kanyang entrails, yung mga loob niya, yung mga hindi na kailangan na, hindi naman kinakain. Kaya nga tinatawag siyang drone fish. Pag sinabi namang dressed fish, no, alam naman lagyan mo ng damit. So, dressed fish, kasi nga, yung scales, yung viscera, yung fins, even the head and the tails is tinatanggal. So, yung nakikita nyo dito na picture on the screen, tinatanggal yung fins, yung tail, yung fins, yung head, even the scales. So, ang tawag dyan is dressed fish. Pag ito lang ang natitira. Next, pag steaks naman, these pieces are cross-section slices of a large dressed fish. A steak is usually 2 to 3 centimeters thick. So, example ng steak is ganito ang cutting. Ganyan, steak ang tawag dyan, class. Then, fillets. So, fillets, these are the meaty sides of the fish removed from the backbone and ribs of the fish. Fillets are particularly boneless. So, wala siyang bone. Fillets can be black. So, ito yung example ng black fillet. Nakikita nyo naman, di ba? This is usually butterfly or double cut, yung kanyang cutting sa black. Cross-cut fillet, ang kanyang itsura is ganito. Cross-cut. Wala nang tail. Diba? Ito meron, dito wala na. Cross-cut. Quarter-cut fillet, from cross-cut, in-half to siya. Ang tawag dyan is quarter-cut. Ito na ang itsura niya. Pag single fillet naman, yung half ng cross-cut is single fillet. Ibig sabihin yung half portion lang ang pwede mong makita. So to understand further, butterfly fillet is formed by both sides of the fish still joined by the uncut flesh and skin of the belly. So ito yung itsura ng butterfly fillet. So iha-half mo yung fish, hindi mo ikakat sa gitna. Ang tawag dyan is butterfly fillet. Cross-cut fillet naman is ikakat mo na yung sa middle. So pwede siyang quarter-cut fillet. Tapos yung half niyan, ang tawag is single fillet. So this is a single fillet now. This is the quarter cut fillet. So nakikita niyo naman 4 portions meron from the word quarter. Cross cut means half. Butterfly cut, hindi siya nahahati sa gitna. And then sticks and portions, ito ang kanyang itsura. So sticks and portions are small elongated chunks which are rectangles ang kanyang size of uniform size and thickness cut from the meaty portion fillet of the fish. So yun yung different ways of preparing fish. Now, I'll be presenting to you a video since on your laboratory activity, pinagawa ko kayo ng iba't ibang portion ng cutting, pero picture lang naman ang present ninyo. So ito yung procedure since hindi naman tayo nagkikita ng personal, at least makita nyo naman kung paano ginagawa. Kasi meron doong steps na minention, di ba, sa ating book. Pero ito talaga yung proper way when you are going to conduct it. So,
hi guys, Mike Ward here, and what we're going to do today is probably going to scare the crap out of you, but I do not want you to turn off this video just yet. Today, we are going to fillet a fish. It is super.
Okay, class, may naririnig ba kayo? Ibalik ko ulit ha, para marinig nyo yung music or yung sound.
Hi guys, Mike Ward here, and what we're going to do today
Okay, ma'am.
the crap out of you, but I do not want you to turn off this video just yet. Today, we are going to fillet a fish. It is super easy, and I can't tell you what a great feeling of satisfaction you will get once you fillet your first fish, and you will forever buy your fish whole again wherever they are available to you. But there's two other reasons. One is that when you buy a whole fish, you tend to get a better quality of fish, a fresher fish. The reason being is that most stores and markets tend to put their whole fish out first because they know that customers are familiar with the idea of the clarity of the eyeballs, meaning fresher fish. And then when it gets a little bit less fresher, they'll take it out the back, they'll fillet it, put the fillets back out, and you can't tell as easily whether it's fresh. It's normally always fine, but it's not quite as fresh as buying the whole fish. Second, it's cheaper. You typically get the whole fish for the price of the two fillets, so you get the bones to make a quick broth or a quick stock, or you can do what I do, which is just give the head to my kids, and they like putting the finger in the mouth, and they give it a name. They always seem to call it scales. So let's get started right now. Okay, what we have here is a beautiful Spanish mackerel. This guy probably weighs about 2 pounds, and he cost me about $4. I can tell he's fresh because he's got a really firm texture to his flesh, and his eyes are clear. So let's get started on this guy. Please, most importantly, use a very sharp knife. You will cut yourself less when you use a sharp knife, trust me. So cut behind his ear, all the way down to the bone, and just on one side of his spine, make a very small incision all the way down to the end. Let your knife do the work. You don't need to apply a lot of pressure if you have a sharp knife. You feel your knife running down the bones of the spine. Let the knife do the work. And that fillet will just pull itself away like so. It is that simple. One beautiful fillet. Just tidy him up a little bit there. Now with Spanish mackerel and a lot of other similar fish, what you have is very small bones running down there. Now with larger fish like salmon, you could pull them out with a pair of tweezers. But on smaller fish like mackerel, what you can do is make a very tiny V incision just either side of those bones. Those bones will just come out in one little piece like that. Super simple. Beautiful. For a piece like that, I would tend to cut it in half. You just whip off the tail, and you have two gorgeous portions. Let's do the other side. Again, incision behind his ear, down to the bones, and very small incision along his spine, like so. Just let the knife do the work. That flesh will start to come away. Easy as that. And again, one more beautiful fillet. Tidy him up there. And again, you've got that very thin row of bones there, so a tiny little V incision just on either side of those little bones. From him, I've got 4 amazing adult-sized portions, each one maybe costing me $1 each. Okay, withstanding the feelings of this poor bugger, you can't tell me that doesn't look like a lot of fun. Please try it yourself. It is that easy. I guarantee you, you will fall in love with the idea of filleting your own fish. Give me your thoughts on this video, and if there's anything you want me to try,
before tayo mag-proceed sa ating last topic, naintindihan niyo ba yung na-present kanina? Okay, so good.
Yes, ma'am.
Kung hindi niyo masyadong nakuha yung video kasi lag yung internet connection, nag-upload ako doon sa ating Google Classroom. Actually, that is our laboratory activity for Unit 2. Yung paggawa ng different cuts, magawa ng steaks, different procedure. Kung nakita nyo naman kanina, that is an example of a steak. Quarter cut yun kasi four pieces yung kanyang ginawa. So, I think mag-end na tayo in 3 minutes. Stop ko na muna yung video. After 5 minutes, come back to our to our Zoom meeting. And then, yun na ang last topic natin. Okay? So, break muna.